The first year of marriage had a rhythm. Tuesday night chicken stir-fry. Grocery lists on the fridge. Late-night movies on the couch with the sound turned down low so we wouldn't disturb the neighbors. It wasn't glamorous, but it was ours. Danielle used to leave me notes, post-its on the bathroom mirror with crooked hearts and inside jokes. They started disappearing around month 14. She claimed it was stress. New team at work. Bigger projects. A push for promotion. I believed her. I wanted to. She still kissed me goodbye in the mornings, even if her lips barely touched my cheek. I told myself this was what real life looked like after the honeymoon. But some things were harder to ignore. Like how she started going to parties without me. Company happy hours that ran late. Birthdays I wasn't invited to because they were just the girls. One time I asked if I should come. She laughed, not unkindly, but like I was being naive. She didn't look at me the same way. That's the thing I kept noticing. Eyes still blue, still framed by the lashes I used to trace with my thumb, but less focused. Like she was listening for something behind me. Or someone. There were mood swings. She'd come home glowing, like she'd won the lottery, then go quiet the next day, irritable, withdrawn. I chalked it up to work stress. I kept chalking things up to that. You can justify a lot when you've made promises in front of witnesses. I started keeping a quiet tally in my head. Missed calls. Texts that went unanswered until morning. Nights she came home with wine on her breath and stories that didn't quite line up. Was it Lindsay's party or Amanda's? I never accused her. Not out loud. I just lie awake some nights, watching her sleep, the glow of her phone lighting up the nightstand every so often. She kept it face down now. The lock screen would flash, then fade. A tiny lighthouse signaling something in the fog. We sat farther apart at dinner now. She'd scroll through her phone between bites. I tried to talk about my day, a weird customer at work, something funny my manager said, but her replies were monosyllables. Then one night I realized I couldn't remember the last time she asked me how I was doing. Not really. I started checking the odometer on her car when she got back late. It didn't prove anything. Just gave me a number to think about. 42, 7 miles round trip to the office. Sometimes it was 59. Once it was 72. She started leaving earlier in the mornings. Always a meeting, never too specific. That Saturday, I saw her toss a bag of heels and a short black dress in the back seat before heading out for errands. There was a moment, I was sitting on the porch steps, watching the neighborhood settle into dusk, when a dark blue sedan pulled up across the street. I figured it was a rideshare. But the guy got out, rang our bell, and Danielle came to the door in a rush. She paused when she saw me outside. Then smiled, too bright, and walked past me like I was part of the scenery. He gave her flowers. Lilies, I think. She didn't look back. I sat there until the porch light clicked on. My dinner was still in the microwave. That night, we slept with the usual distance between us, the line of 2 pillows, cool and quiet. But I didn't fall asleep. I started thinking about James. A friend from college who happened to work in her building. We weren't close, but I remembered him mentioning they were on the same floor. The next morning, I sent him a message. Casual. Just wanted to catch up, I said. He replied in less than 10 minutes. James and I met for lunch downtown 3 days later. He kept glancing at the door like he expected someone to follow him in. When I asked if everything was all right, he leaned forward, elbows on the table. Look, he said, I don't want to be in the middle of anything. But I've seen some stuff that, well, it doesn't feel right. He told me Danielle had been spending a lot of time on the phone. Not work calls. These were different, voice low, sometimes smiling, pacing by the windows. Private. Rehearsed. You start to recognize the tone, he said. It's not business. He mentioned a guy, not from their office, but someone who picked her up sometimes. Tall. Drove a dark sedan. He'd seen them once in the lobby. The man handed her flowers, and they left together. James didn't know his name. That was enough for me. I didn't start a fight. Didn't accuse. I just watched. For the next week, I kept to my routines. Made dinner. Folded laundry. Kissed her cheek when she left in the mornings. But at night, when the phone buzzed, I started paying closer attention. The passcode hadn't changed, not since last spring when we set up our new phones together. She didn't realize I still remembered it. One night, around 2:11 a.m., she shifted in her sleep, murmured something, then turned over. Her phone lit up. I waited. Counted to 50. Reached across the bed like I was adjusting the blanket. My hand didn't shake. The phone opened on the first try. Her background was a beach photo from our trip to Santa Cruz, the one where I surprised her with a sunrise breakfast on the sand. She hadn't changed it. I don't know if that made things better or worse. The messages were there. Not just texts. Photos. A thread of shared evenings, inside jokes, pet names. Mentions of a hotel downtown. Thursday night. Room already booked. A picture of the key card. Another one I didn't look at too long. My thumb hovered over the screen. Not scrolling. Just breathing. Downstairs, the refrigerator hummed. Somewhere outside, a car idled before moving on. The world kept turning, unaware. I set the phone down on the nightstand. Face down. Then I got up. Quietly. Opened the closet. Pulled out a duffel bag. Her side. I started packing. Shirts. Dresses. That black one from last Saturday. The perfume she wore only when she went out without me. Each item folded like a memory I no longer wanted to carry. At sunrise, I was going to speak. Not with anger. Just clarity. She'd wake up to coffee. Her suitcase by the door. And a conversation she wouldn't be able to dance her way out of. There's something unnatural about seeing a truth you already knew spelled out in words. Confirmation doesn't feel like relief. It feels like standing in a room where the walls are slowly pressing in, and everyone's pretending the air isn't getting thinner. I didn't open every message. I didn't need to. The first few said enough. He called her Sunbeam. That one stung more than I expected. Not because of the word itself, childish, really, but because she used to call me that. Back when we still sent each other dumb gifts during the workday and texted "I miss you" just because. Before the distance set in. Before the line between our pillows became a wall. He sent her pictures of a hotel key card. Downtown. Thursday night, 7:30 p.m. She replied with a heart and a photo of the dress she planned to wear. I recognized it immediately. She wore it the day she claimed she was helping her sister look for apartments. The cognitive dissonance hit me like whiplash. She'd smiled at me that day. Sat at our table that night, feet curled under her, eating pad thai and pretending nothing had happened. I even remember thanking her for being so patient with her sister. She'd laughed. I didn't feel angry. Not yet. Just hollow. Like I was watching someone else's marriage unravel. That morning, I left for work before she woke. I sat in traffic longer than I needed to, parked a block away from the office, and just watched the city breathe. I didn't go in. Called out sick, turned off my phone, and walked until my feet hurt. That night, I couldn't look at her. She came home smelling like hotel soap. Said something about traffic and how she needed a shower. I nodded, eyes fixed on the TV. I don't even remember what was on. I kept pretending for 2 more days. Not because I didn't know what to do. I did. I was just timing the exit. Calculating the moment that would require the least amount of explanation and the maximum clarity. I booked a short consultation with a divorce attorney. Didn't tell anyone. Quiet, professional office near the courthouse. She explained how things would go. The house was in my name, purchased before the marriage. No children. No joint business. I asked how cleanly it could be done. She said, very. Thursday came. She dressed up before I even got home. Said something about a late networking event. I asked if she wanted a ride. That one made her blink. No, she said too quickly, brushing her hair behind her ear. I'll just grab a ride. I watched from the upstairs window as he pulled up again. Same dark sedan. Same damn bouquet. White lilies. The reflection in the bedroom mirror showed me standing there with my arms at my sides, unmoving. I didn't cry. Didn't yell. I just memorized the image, her walking briskly to another man's car, smiling like she had a secret she thought she could keep forever. I waited an hour. Then opened her closet and finished packing. When I zipped the last bag, I sat down at the edge of the bed. 2 pillows, side by side. Hers was untouched. I flipped it once, just to disrupt the symmetry. I knew she'd be back around midnight. She always was. When I heard the car outside and the engine idling, I didn't get up. Just sat in the dark, listening. Her key hit the door. It didn't open. She jiggled the handle once. Then again, harder. I waited. Through the peephole, I saw her face move from confused to annoyed. She leaned in, squinting at the deadbolt like maybe the metal had rearranged itself out of spite. I opened the door slowly. Her makeup was smudged, like she'd tried to touch it up in the car. The flowers were gone, probably left in his back seat. She looked smaller than usual. Not physically. Just diminished. Like she didn't expect to be seen like this. I think the lock's broken, she said, forcing a casual tone. No. It's new. A pause. What? I changed the locks. I said it plainly, like I was commenting on the weather. Her mouth opened, then closed. She looked past me into the hallway like maybe this was a joke, maybe someone else was about to jump out and yell gotcha. Why? She asked, too quiet. Same reason you lied to my face for weeks, I wanted to say. But I didn't. I wasn't going to give her that opening, that angle where I became the unreasonable one. Instead, I stepped aside just enough to let the hallway light hit her fully. We need to talk, I said. She crossed her arms and didn't move. I didn't invite her in. We're not doing this here, she said. Open the door. No. You can't be serious. I didn't blink. I am. She looked at the door like it had betrayed her, like it had taken my side. That's when the panic started to flicker behind her eyes. Where's my stuff? Packed. In the foyer. She tried to step forward. I blocked the door. Don't, I said, calm but firm. Are you out of your mind? She hissed. This is my house too. I shook my head. It's not. Your name's not on the deed. We rent the land, but I bought the house before we met. She blinked. Once. Twice. Jesus, Mark. There it was, the real name, the real tone. Not the sweet voice she used when she wanted something. Not the performative affection. Just raw frustration. Good. We were finally done pretending. I want my phone charger, she muttered. I handed it to her. Already wrapped neatly. Already unplugged. She clutched it like it meant something. "You don't even want to talk about this?" she asked, eyes sharp now, defensive. "About what you think you saw?" "I saw enough. You don't know what's been going on. You don't even ask. You just, what? Pack my bags like I'm some what?" I interrupted. "Some wife who sneaks off to hotels with another man? Leaves with him while her husband watches from the porch?" She flinched, barely. "I was going to tell you," she said, too fast. "You just didn't know I already knew." She looked down then. At the charger. At her shoes. At the truth that had finally surfaced like oil on water. Then came the quiet moment, the one where she realized there was nothing she could say that would reset this. "You're really doing this," she said, almost to herself. I nodded. "And I get nothing? After everything?" My laugh was small. Tired. "You got everything for years. And it still wasn't enough." For a second, I thought she might cry. Instead, she squared her shoulders and looked past me into the house like she could still claim some piece of it. Then her gaze stopped on the mirror in the hallway. It caught both of us. Her standing outside, clutching a charger. Me inside, still barefoot, arms crossed, one bag of hers at my feet. She looked at herself for a beat too long. I wonder what she saw. I reached for the door. "Don't call me," I said. "You won't get a response." Then I shut it. The lock clicked. One clean, heavy turn. And on the other side, she didn't knock again. I slept that night. Not well, but more than I expected to. No dreams, no tossing. Just a long, heavy quiet that wrapped itself around me like static. The kind you notice only when everything else has gone still. In the morning, I made coffee like always. Same machine. Same mug. Just one now. There was a bag by the door with her initials stitched into the side. I didn't rush to move it. I didn't need to. It looked right there, like something waiting to be claimed by a person who didn't live here anymore. I checked my phone out of habit. 3 missed calls. 2 voicemails I didn't open. A message, "We need to talk. Please." That was it. I left it unread. It was a Friday. Trash pickup day. The blue bin at the curb had her name still sharp on the side, written in permanent marker from when we'd first moved in. I wheeled it out anyway. By 9, I was sitting in the living room with the windows open. Crisp fall air slid in, the kind that makes your skin contract and your thoughts slow down. The world didn't know my life had changed. The mail came on time. The neighbor's dog barked like it always did. Then my phone buzzed again. New number. I almost ignored it. Then curiosity got the better of me. It was James. He asked if we could talk, in person. We met at the diner down the block. Cheap coffee. Vinyl booths. Laminated menus with photos that never matched the food. He already looked guilty before I sat down. "She knows you found out," he said. "Told everyone at work that you overreacted and locked her out." I stirred my coffee. "People buy that?" He shrugged. "Some do. Most don't." I stared past him at the glass door. A family of 4 walked in. The dad held the door for everyone. "I used to do that." James leaned forward. "She's been seeing the guy for months. Name's Carter. Works in commercial real estate. Married. Separated, supposedly. Comes by the office a lot." I nodded once. "Is he the one with the lilies?" "Yeah." That part made sense now. I'd always wondered why she hated lilies before, said they reminded her of funerals. But maybe it was different when someone new offered them. James sipped his drink. She thinks she can still fix it. I let out a short breath. Not quite a laugh. Not quite anger. She can't. He didn't push it. On the walk home, I passed a florist. Lilies in the window. I kept walking. When I got back, the bag was gone. No text. No knock. Just gone. The only sign she'd been there was a smudge on the glass of the front door, the kind your forehead leaves when you lean against it too long. I wiped it off with my sleeve. Inside, the house didn't feel empty. Just recalibrated. Like it finally matched the reality I'd been living in for months. That night, I stripped the bed. Put on fresh sheets. Not because it was symbolic. Just because it needed doing. 2 pillows again. But this time, only one had an imprint. Saturday came like any other. The sky was overcast, pale gray and undecided. I had nowhere to be. No one to explain myself to. The silence of the house was different now, not heavy like it had been, not tense, just honest. No one waiting for me to look away so a lie could take shape. Around 11 a.m., I opened the mail. Nothing urgent. One letter addressed to both of us, some kind of charity appeal she used to give to. I set it aside without opening it. There wouldn't be any more joint donations. Then, just before noon, her name lit up on my phone. Danielle, 2 missed calls. New voicemail. I deleted the call log. But not the voicemail. Not yet. I played it once, on speaker, standing in the kitchen, coffee gone cold in my hand. Hey. I know you don't want to talk to me. I get that. But I need to say something. Please don't hang up. Or delete this. Just, listen. I messed up. That's the easy part. Saying it out loud. But it's not just that I cheated. It's not just the hotel or the lies. I know those are what broke us, but I was already slipping before that. I was lonely, Mark. I felt invisible. I know that's not an excuse, I know I could have told you. Should've. But every time I tried, you were busy or tired or just, not there. Not really. I know you think you were. And maybe you were in your way. But I needed something else. And when Carter started paying attention, it felt alive again. That's not love. I know that now. He's not staying. He's going back to his wife. I'm not asking you to forgive me, but I don't know. I don't want to be erased from your life like I never mattered. I'll come by Monday for the rest of my things. I'll knock. If you're not home, I'll understand. Just don't think I didn't care. I did. I do. I just broke it. The message ended with a click. No goodbye. I listened to it again. Not because I missed her. I just wanted to understand the rhythm of her regret. Whether it was real. Or rehearsed. By the third listen, I deleted it. That afternoon, I took down the wedding photo from the hallway. The one with the golden frame and her hand on my chest, both of us smiling into a future that never arrived. I didn't smash it. I didn't burn it. I wrapped it in newspaper and stored it in the garage with the other things I hadn't decided on yet. Some things take time to become trash. Sunday came quiet. I mowed the lawn. Answered emails. Ate leftovers. And when I opened the linen closet to grab extra towels for the guest bathroom, I found a note tucked between the folds. One of her old post-its. It just said, "Don't forget, Tuesday, her birthday." She had underlined her. I stared at it longer than I should have. It took me a full minute to realize her meant my sister, the one she always remembered when I forgot. I stuck the note back inside the closet and closed it. That night, I turned off my phone. Put it in a drawer. She'd come by Monday. Let her knock. Let her stand there. And let her finally feel the weight of being on the outside. Monday arrived without drama. The kind of quiet morning where you know something's coming but it still doesn't feel urgent. The air outside was sharp, bright, early fall trying to convince itself winter wasn't already coming. I left the house just before 9. Her message had been clear, she'd come by for her things. And I didn't want to be there when she did. I'd already made peace with what I needed to say. I'd already said it, in silence, in the turning of a deadbolt, in every folded shirt and sealed box. I didn't owe her another scene. The lawyer had sent over the draft papers that morning. Clean, simple. No alimony. No shared assets. The house was mine. She would walk away with what she brought in, and less than what she tried to take. I drove around town, aimless. Had lunch at a roadside diner where no one knew my name. Sat near the window. Watched cars drift past. Her car would be one of them. Dark gray, always dusty near the bumper. She never washed it. Said it added character. I used to think that was charming. Around 2, I parked a block from the house and walked. No rush. Hands in my pockets. When I turned the corner, I saw her car in the driveway. The trunk open, one box already loaded. The front door was ajar, just slightly. I hadn't locked it. She looked up when I reached the porch. No makeup. Jeans, old hoodie. Hair pulled back. For a moment, she looked exactly like she did when we moved in, same clothes, same stance, but none of the same warmth. Just a long, tired stare. I didn't think you'd be here, she said. I'm not, I replied, and stepped past her into the living room. The house felt rearranged. Like it was bracing for a shift. The bag from last week was gone, but the couch cushion still held the faint outline of where she'd once leaned. Half her books were off the shelves. The wedding photo was missing from the mantel. I didn't take much, she said behind me. Just what's mine. I nodded. Didn't check. You could have talked to me, she added. I turned toward her. You mean like you talked to me? Her jaw clenched. You're making this harder than it has to be. No, I said quietly. This is as easy as it gets. We stood there, nothing between us but a coffee table and a few years of crumbling trust. She looked around one last time, the kind of glance you give a hotel room before checkout. I loved this house, she said. You loved being loved in it. She didn't deny it. A moment passed, then another. She stepped toward the door, keys in hand. At the threshold, she paused. If you ever want to talk, she said. I mean, really talk. I shook my head. I already did. You just weren't listening. She looked down at the doorknob like it could answer for her. Then she stepped outside. I didn't follow. From the window, I watched her load the last box. The trunk closed with a hollow thud. The car sat there for a while. She didn't drive off right away. Just sat. Engine idling. Hands gripping the wheel like she was trying to hold on to something already slipping. Then she was gone. No dramatic exit. No parting shot. Just the sound of tires on gravel and the weight of a door finally closing behind her. Inside, the house exhaled. The line between the pillows was still there that night. But it didn't feel like a wall anymore. It just felt like space. Room to breathe. Room to begin.